Good morning to you. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we've got a great show for you. Lots going on in the next half hour. Very special day today. We got two special guests. We're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Two guests on the way, including we're going to take you out to the Montrose for La Cocina Mexican Restaurant. That's coming up in just a few moments. First, my co-host is Dr. Tony Rayo-Sutherland. Good morning to you, Tony.
Good morning. Good morning. It's not a very clear morning. It's kind of wet, but it's a good morning.
Yeah, fall is over, by the way. If you were hoping that fall would stay around in Houston, it's officially over. We will be moving into the false summer, which is coming up next, and then possibly into our first freeze, but we'll wait on that. Anyway, we got a lot happening today. It's Tasty Tuesday. We got a couple of special guests for Hispanic Heritage Month. But first, we wanted, Tony, take you live out to the Houston Food Bank, and a very special thing is going on there. You know, Tony, earlier this month, we worked with our partners, PepsiCo Foundation and Mattress Mac Gallery Furniture, to help raise funds to help those affected by Hurricane Ida. And that's coming to a culmination today as we present a check to the Houston Food Bank.
That's wonderful. And this is a new location, I think, for the Houston Food Bank. What we have, over $10,000 in donations, correct? All of a sudden, I can't hear anybody.
Incredible amount that was raised through donations that HCC was able to raise through our faculty and staff, and also our partners at PepsiCo and Gallery Furniture. And that check is being presented to the Houston Food Bank. And you'll see some of our trustees are there. Also, our chancellor, Dr. Cesar Maldonado, is on hand to make that check presentation. It's just a great day for HCC. And really, Tony, you know, our neighbors in Louisiana were very affected by Hurricane Ida.
Oh, yes. And I have family in Louisiana, and I hear the stories firsthand. And I know it's very difficult. And the fact that they keep having hurricanes over and over and over, it's like, you know, they don't get over the first one because the second one comes and then a third one, you know. Right.
And once again, you're looking at our chancellor, a couple of trustees are there as well. And they're presenting a very large check with our partners, PepsiCo and Gallery Furniture. And it's an initiative that we've been doing at HCCTV. So congratulations to them. And we thank everyone who made a donation to the HCC President's Hurricane Ida fundraising initiative. Congratulations on a job well done. All right, Tony, we're back on HCCTV today. If you don't catch us live on this show on Facebook Live and YouTube, you can watch us at noon and 5 p.m. on HCCTV. And real quickly, they can check us out on all social media platforms.
Absolutely. Just you look for Houston Community College District on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over.
Okay, we are all over the place, and we got a couple of special guests today. It's Hispanic Heritage Month, and we've got the program director of the Languages Department, Maria Bazan-Myrick, and she's joining us live this morning. Good morning to you, Maria. I think your mic's
Good morning.
There we are. Good morning to you. So we're going to hear in a moment about your journey to the U.S. from Mexico City, and we're looking very forward to hearing about your story. So we're asking you to stand by for a few minutes. We'll check in with you in about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
All right. Right now, we're going to head out to the Montrose area. You know them. You love them. La Cocina Mexican Restaurant. We've got Andres Novoa, and he was the founder and owner of La Cocina Mexican Restaurant. He's also our Tasty Tuesday guest. Andres, we can't hear you yet. If you can get him to unmute your microphone. He's unmuting. There we go. Good morning, Andres. How are you?
Good morning. Excited to be here today.
We're excited to have you here. Before we get started, our producer, Melanie, I guess she's been talking with him. She said, make sure you tell Andres, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to meet him, but she enjoyed working with you, getting things set up. And you guys are really becoming a Montrose institution. I know you've only been there for a few years, but you're really taking off.
It's Richmond, Texas, amigo.
You're in Richmond. Okay, I'm
Richmond,
sorry.
Texas. Yes, sir. The best.
Okay, I apologize. Tell me a bit about your background, because I want to know about how you got your start. I understand, was Mama Ninfa involved a little bit in that?
Well, yes, I worked for Mama Ninfa for 20 years.
Wow.
For the Laurenzo family. And Mama, she taught me a lot of basic things that are made me successful to this day. You know, she taught me about integrity of a product. She taught me about taking care of people,
right?
Taking care of the employees, you know, which are the main force in all this, in all we do.
And it obviously has worked because I'm reading you've been around since 1997 in Fort Bend County, correct?
Yes, sir. We started in Rosenberg in 1997, and then we moved down here to Pecan Grove area in the year 2000. So, you know, we've been at it here. We've been successful serving the neighborhood. We're a neighborhood restaurant. Above all, we help the community. You know,
yeah, you give back to the community. Tell me a bit about that, because I know you're very involved with giving back.
Well, we sure are. You know, we learned that you have to give back to the community. We learned that, you know, the community gives you business and we give back to them. You know, we help the schools. We help our veterans. One other thing we help is Meals on Wheels, which is our main organization that is close to our heart. Okay, and that's we incredible. Raise money for them. Every Cinco de Mayo, we do a big bash. And it's, we have raised $500,000 for them already, you know? So, you know, we're trying here at this little restaurant here.
And you faced some difficult times due to COVID, as many restaurants did. How were you able to pull through all those adversities?
Well, very tough, you know, but when the going gets tough, the tough get going. You know, it was all about responding to the community. It was all about thanking our loyal base that pretty much has kept us open throughout those difficult times. You know, they were coming here, we had a drive-through, curbside, and they were just lining up, you know, giving us a big hand. For that, we are grateful, and thanks to that loyal base, we are here right now. You know, we're still in business. You know, we have faced many difficulties, and here we are.
Andres, when I think of traditional street food in Mexico, you can't go without the street tacos. And you've got something you're going to make for us right now.
Oh, yes, sir. We got some good street tacos here. You know, the one they make on the streets in Mexico, you know, so we're going to start with them right now.
So it looks like you got, what was that you're putting on the grill there?
That's char grilled onions.
Okay, you got some onions going?
With a special marinade. You know, you got to start them.
Right.
You know, they got to get hot, nice and hot. Then what we do, we add some meat on it.
You got a little bit of beef there? Yep.
Yeah, we got a little bit of charbroiled fajita beef. And of course, we got some chipotle. Chipotle is what gives you the good flavor.
Absolutely.
And with that,
so is this your most popular dish, street tacos at your restaurant?
Street tacos are world famous, my friend. They are world famous.
Where are you guys located exactly in Richmond? If people
We're located on FM 359, Richmond, Texas. Pecan Grove area.
What hours are you open and what days of the week?
We open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday from 11 till 8 and 11 till 9 on Friday and Saturday. So those are our hours.
On Saturday and Sundays, do you do any special menu items?
Yes, we do. You know, on Sundays, we got our burritos. Throughout the week, we have specials. You know, talking about the street tacos, they want a special on Wednesday. They have price. All these guys are half price. You know, as you can see, they are delicioso.
And you got some street tacos, then we got the chipotle on there.
Yes, we got also enchilada day on Thursdays.
Do you do any seafood there as well?
Yes, we do. We got a variety of shrimp items, fish items, ceviches, cocktails, shrimp cocktails, salmon, fish tacos. They are very famous here too, our fish tacos.
So you got a wide variety on the menu. If someone wants to eat just fish or if someone likes the beef and chicken, you got it all.
Yes, sir. We got everything. We got a light menu. And pretty much we have everything here, amigo.
So I imagine you got some more onions you're putting on there.
Some more onions, and now we're gonna do some pork.
Oh, so you got three types. You got
some chicken. Beef. We're gonna pork, beef, and now chicken.
Chicken now. All right.
We're doing some good chicken now, amigo.
Again, so when you order these, do you order them separately, or do you get a plate with a couple of them on there?
As you wish. Separate is what the popularities. They order separate, individual. And on Wednesday, they're on a special, half price on these guys, So, man,
so
they order them by
on Wednesdays.
20s, 30s, 40s, they keep us busy. Oh, boy, they make us work.
Let me ask you this. What's your average taco output on a daily basis? How many do you think you guys average making every day on your busiest days?
Well, street tacos, at least 50, 60, 75 on a slow day, On the special, we do like 200.
200. So next, I imagine you use corn tortillas there, right? There we go. We got some corn tortillas on there for the street tacos. And once again, where you're watching a live cooking demo from our friends out at La Cocina Mexican Restaurant. They're out in the Richmond area. Andres Novoa is the founder and owner, and he's about to plate some tacos here. We got chicken, pork, and beef.
Okay, you got it.
You put the recipe together, and realistically, it's a very simple recipe, but it's the care and the ingredients you guys put in there that really makes the taco. Care.
Again, now we gotta, now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you the trimmings that we add to this, the garnishes that we add. Okay, you can see them right here. You can see the guacamole, the pico de gallo.
You got guacamole, yep.
Limes, you gotta have it, some green sauce, some red sauce, and some chips. Now, this is the way they look after they put together.
There you go. You can't go wrong with homemade green sauce. I could eat that stuff by the gallon.
God. Yes, right here, amigo. You can put some of that right there.
There you go.
And my God, that thing adds to it.
Well, Andres,
there it is.
Look forward to getting out there. You guys are open 7 days a week. La Cocina Mexican Restaurant. They're our Tasty Tuesday guests. Andres, we wish you continued success. Thank you for joining us out on the show.
Thank you so much. A pleasure to be with you guys. Okay, and come down and try some street tacos, amigos.
We'll get out to Richmond and try them. Thanks, Andres.
Yes, sir. You got it.
All right, we are going to check in with Dr. Tony Reyes Sutherland. She is going to do our next guest. And Tony, we're continuing our celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, and you've got an immigrant story we're going to talk about.
Yes, I do. Maria Bazan-Myrick. She's program director of the Continuing Education Languages Department, and she's also an immigrant from Mexico City. But before I go on, I just got to say, I live in Missouri City. I'm going to go down to Richmond, which is just a few blocks away, you might say, and I'm going to take a long lunch break. Anyways, that's some good stuff. All right. Maria, welcome to the show. I had to just say that. I'm sorry.
I was with you there, Tony. I was thinking the same thing, but I'm downtown, so it'll take me
a little further away.
But yes, thank you. Those are delicious.
Welcome to the show. You have a wonderful story about your journey coming to the United States and all of that. As an immigrant and everything, you started out very young. Tell us about where you were born and how you ended up here.
Well, yes, I'll give you the very short version, as I always say. But I was actually born in Mexico City, Mexico, the heart of the state. And my parents originally, one was from Chicago, Illinois, my mother, and her parents, they also migrated to the United States during the farm workers period. And then her parents decided to take her back. So dad is originally from Veracruz. And then he also moved into the city with his father. So that's where they met, and that's where I was born. And it was a very interesting story, because I always wanted to know more about mom's journeys to, from U.S. to Chicago. And she actually learned English better than my dad did. So she had to learn or relearn Spanish when they took her back to Mexico City. So that's kind of my migration was my mom had family in most of her family, her brothers and sisters stayed in Houston. So they wanted her to come, and we were already 6 girls. She had 6 daughters and 1 son. And so she saw the real need to move us back to the U.S. because she had experienced that type of life. And so her and dad decided, okay, you go first, because he would have to follow. And so we came to Houston, and I'll tell you the truth, about 1956. So that's my story. And I was very fortunate because my mom was always trying to teach us some English. And the first day at school, and I'll share this story because this leads to why I do what I do at HCC. She said, when you go to school the first day, there was no kindergarten, so it was actually first grade, and I was much younger. She made a mistake. She put my birth year 1 year older, so they put me in the first grade. And she said, when you go to school, if you need to go to the bathroom or the restroom, you say atole, a toilet. But I heard atole, and the language translation, when a first language to second, you associate, right? So I said atole. So I told the teacher, I need to go, quiero atole. So I always called my little bilingual friend Armando, and she brought him up and said, what is she saying? I guess in English. And he asked me in Spanish, ¿qué necesitas? So I was not going to tell a boy I needed to go to the restroom, but finally I had to go. I said, atole. So he tells the teacher, he translates back to her and then back to me. We don't eat until 11 o'clock. So atole is an actual hot cereal that they're used to making in Mexico. So that's my kind of short story of how I really enjoyed learning language. And I said, okay, I don't think I want to make that mistake again. So that's how, once we got into the school, go ahead, Tony.
Well, I was just going to say, I know back then, I'm probably about the same age as you. It was a total immersion of the language, right? Because there wasn't a whole lot of, things written in both Spanish and English and stuff like that. It was just when you came.
It was total immersion.
It's total immersion. And so I can see that in the first grade, something like that it's got to be difficult. I also can see why you teach English as a first language or ESL, because, it's when you learn it as a child, when you learn 2 different languages as a child, that's okay. But when you learn it after you've already learned a language, that's where it gets difficult. And what do you think?
Yes. And I think one of the other earlier experiences that I had was as a child growing up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One of the first things, of course, that when immigrants come to this country, you try to find people that look like you. Mm-hmm. So we did that very well. But at one point we were looking for housing. So we actually wound up in a very multicultural, what they used to call low-income housing for Blacks, Mexicans, mostly were Mexican, Polish, and other English-speaking people. So that was really my very first experience of different colorful people. I'd never, Mexico was very much Mexican at that time. So that's one of my other experiences that I really bring to my job, that I really respect, the folks that we serve and the population, the students we have. And yes, learning English as an adult or even a young adult, it's not easy. But that led me to want to do what I do. So, yes.
So when you grew up in the United States, tell us a little bit about that. I think you went to San Jacinto High School. First, you went to the West, right? You were in.
I grew up in the 6th Ward, what they call the 6th Ward, which is Lubbock, near the downtown area.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that, but if you've been here as long as I have, the areas were designated as 1st Ward, 2nd Ward, 3rd, and I was in the 5th. But somehow we were, I guess, bused is the best word, to the George Washington Junior High. It no longer exists, but we were usually it was junior high at that time. So that was in the West End. So I was able to mingle with other folks from near the Heights area, the Woodland Heights. And so when we were living, we moved to actually what we used to call the other side of the tracks, from Washington Avenue, Houston Avenue, across to the Woodland Heights. So that's where I wound up being, I don't know, I'm not sure how it was, the laws. I was not very aware of, except that you live in the neighborhood with people that look like you go to the school, they tell you to go to school. And I was really very fortunate because in the mid 60s, the integration started happening here in Houston. And so they tested us, and somehow my skills, I guess, those aptitude skills and those hand skills that they did, I wound up actually at San Jacinto High School. I was channeled to come to get some training because I was one of the first things they wanted is for us to be trained to get a job and so forth. So I was trained as a licensed vocational nurse, and that was another very interesting experience.
So did you finally, you were going to go to college. There was a nun or somebody. Yes. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. We're very, devoted religious Catholics. So we always went to our Catholic community, which are mostly at that time for Mexican immigrants. And there was a nun who was a social worker, and she realized we were graduating, me and my older sister. And she said, wait a minute, don't you want to go to college? I didn't know anything about college. And so she did her, magic as they do. And she said, you know what? You're graduating top 5% of your class. And I said, I am? And I didn't know. I just know I'm supposed to make good grades because Dad and Mom said, this is very important. Education is important. And this is what you need to do. So we did. And I did. She was instrumental in actually getting us grants and scholarships to go to a Dominican college, which is a RN school. And my sister was in the education program for bilingual, not bilingual at the time, but for teacher. So so that was one of my first experiences. But once, you get to be around our family, you really want to do what your parents ask you to do because that's how you grew up. So Dad said, well, really, you don't need any more education. We want you to go on and get married and have children. And that's what we do. So
I come from an Italian family. I know exactly what you're talking about. I had to fight to go to college.
So yeah, that was very difficult for me, but I accepted it. So I was in my second year RN school and met a young man. So we married, and out of that we had 2 children and pretty much stayed home. And then, you get to be like 20, 21, 22, and you're going, is that all there is? And I kept this passion within me of learning. So I said, I really do want to learn to go back to school. So I went back to school. It took me 10 years, but I got my degree. Moved away from Houston to Seattle University. And that really brought another eye-opening experience because I was working for the, what they call there, the Archdiocese of Seattle. And so it was a Catholic organization, of course, and I worked closely with the bishops and a lot of social workers, people who were, trying to find out what the needs were for Hispanics or Latinos in that area in Western Washington. So that just opened up my eyes. And then we're trying to develop leadership and so forth. We realized these folks need to learn English. So I went back, got my master's education at Seattle University. I focused on English, teaching English as a second or other language. And here I am.
It's wonderful. So, and you have a special way to do it because you experienced it yourself.
Yes. And I really can relate. I shared my story about my early childhood experience with language transfer from 1 to 2. The Atole story, because I think it's very, very important for people to see that it can be done. And of course, now with all the education and linguistics and all the different ways people learn. It's just been a very eye-opening experience for me as well. Yeah.
We have a very strong ESL department here at HCC, and we're so happy to have you as one of our instructors. And actually, you are the program
director.
You're the program director of the Continuing Education Languages Department. So we really, really appreciate you heading that up. And
thank you very much.
So much. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Maria. What a great story for Hispanic Heritage Month. All right. We've got some news and announcements. HCC's virtual coffee breaks continue today, later this morning, 11 a.m., right after this show. Join Janet May, our Chief Human Resources Officer, to continue chatting about adapting to our current reality, as well as the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges. They have an upcoming visit and quality enhancement plan. Full team joining Janet today, Dr. Melissa Millers-Waters, also Susan Gall, Dr. Betty Fortune, who's our Executive Director of Success and Completion, and Desmond Lewis, who is our Interim Associate Vice Chancellor for College Readiness. Make sure you join Janet and her full house. And I believe you might want to say bye to Janet because I know she's leaving us soon, unfortunately, going to Alabama, where she'll be assuming a role there. So we wish her well. And I know she'll be on the show talking about that today, but also in discussing this important visit that's coming up next week for HCC's accreditation. Okay, join the Anime Club. There's some reasons why you should join, Tony.
Absolutely. You can learn about the culture of anime, and that is a whole culture in itself. My granddaughter's part of that, so I've learned a little bit about it myself. You can have a chance to get some great HCC Anime Club swag items. And thirdly, you have the opportunity to meet other people that are interested in that, in anime, manga, Japanese pop, comics, all that wonderful stuff. And it's today from 1 to 2 p.m.
All right, you can register. We'll have some information in social media posts for that, as well as everything we're talking about today. Look in the social media posts. All the links, everything you need is in there. Okay, Life Hacking 101, keep it real and positive. It's a session that'll explore the power of your mind, overcoming toxic positivity, and 3 ways to keep it real and positive with yourself. It's hosted by Student Life, noon today as 8th. So that's noon today. We'll have a link in our post after the show. Want to skip on down because we're running out of time. Some Hispanic heritage events that are happening through Student Life.
We have movie nights. Yo soy boricua pa que tú lo sepa. I'm trying.
I know. So you know I'm Puerto Rican. That's what it means. That's 6 to 8 p.m. Wednesday, September 29th at the West Loop. And at the Stafford Learning Center, McFarland, USA, 6 to 8 p.m. October 6th. And then dance classes coming up.
Oh, yes. And there is also a
Reggae gun
here. Although, yes, reggaeton. We talked about that yesterday. That's going to be lots of fun. Also, I was going to say that we have Pink Out Walk. Don't forget about that. That's the race for the cure for breast cancer. That's Saturday, October 2nd, and get a Team Tough cookie shirt.
Yeah, and real quickly, registration underway. You can still register for some shortened fall semesters at hccs.edu/now. Wrapping up the show. Tomorrow on the show, we've got, we'll spotlight the business plan competition in the Glenda and David Regenbaum Center for Entrepreneurship at the Northwest College. Janice Jucker from Three Brothers Bakery is joining us, and Denzel Wilson, a student and president of the Computer Science Association. He'll be here as well. Tony's back tomorrow. I'll be back. We'll see you all live right here on Up to the Minute.